I was 11 when I started noticing complications. Really, I must have felt bad for some time before what I'm about to tell you, but this is when it's most vivid in my mind. It was roller skating day in gym, which is like the coolest, most special day. I lived in Iowa, in rural Iowa at the time, and I was roller skating, and I'd felt like a lot of pain in like my diaphragm area, so like right below your rib cage. And I had been roller skating around the rink with my friends, and then there were like big wrestling mats laid out on the side in case you wanted to like rest. I fell onto the mat because the diaphragm pain got so bad. I got nauseous. I went to the nurse's office and just like puked, and then that night I went to the doctor in my hometown. They did like an EKG with this really archaic machine. And then they sent me to the hospital that night in Iowa City, and that's when they found out that I had heart failure. Idiopathic dilated cardiomyopathy. Basically, idiopathic means they don't know where it comes from. Cardiomyopathy is cardiac disease, and dilated is I had a humongous heart that just wasn't working right. So because they couldn't tell me where it came from, it wasn't congenital. None of my family have any health problems. So they just think I might have gotten a virus at some point when I was a kid, and it had attacked my heart, and it just had slowly, not that one little part not working had like built up. In the next year and a half, I was sick. I was in and out of the hospital. I was dealing with some pretty intense stuff, like them telling us to plan my funeral. What I remember most about school is like the cool posters and cards I got to hang up on my wall in my hospital room. I didn't want to die in the hospital, and my family didn't want me to either. Nobody ever thought it would be heart failure. Never even crossed any of our minds. My mom thought it was like really bad heartburn or some kind of like acid reflux, since I was having like nausea and pain in my stomach or like stomach area. But it wasn't heartburn, it was heart failure. I think for me a really big theme will be in dealing with this will be like disconnection and dissociation. And I do remember that being something that happened when I was young. When they told us that I had heart failure, that like my mom and my sister started crying, and I just kind of like sat there and they hugged me, and almost like a switch flipped, and it was like survival mode, like mental survival mode. And that's still something that happens to me. So I got the transplant, and I remember saying bye to my partner at the time and my friends, my close friends, and that's a little bit more of a blur for me, the goodbyes during that one. And I was upset. I wasn't as removed. I was crying. I was upset. I didn't want to die. Just going to sleep and being put to sleep, and then just not being aware during your death is something that just was terrifying me at the time, not being aware from my own death. Like, who knows if I would be anyway, but it still was on my mind. And I was just like, okay, if I die in there, like, I guess this was my life, and okay. But I came out okay. It had been so long since my first one. My chest had grown with the wires that they wrap around your sternum to keep it closed. So they had they had grown as part of my bones, and they had penetrated parts of my body that would be fine if I hadn't needed another open heart surgery, but reopening the chest, they had to take out a block of my sternum, actually remove it, and then pull the wires out and replace it. They broke another couple of ribs. It was really painful when I woke up. I did recover really fast, though. I always have recovered really quickly from anything. I mean, I was up and walking all around the ICU within 24 hours. My ability to have a third one was in question. When you start getting to third, they have to be really, really careful who they give a third transplant to. People don't even get a first one, which also adds to, traumatic stress and survivor's guilt. I had just gotten back from Europe, traveled around for 5 weeks. I had just gotten back, my whole life was just totally different. I had gone to all these amazing places and was just looking at the world differently and feeling more sure of myself and everything. Being excited about the future for the first time ever.